Hi, and welcome to another episode of All Things Considered. Tonight I want to speak to you about something that's very important to me. It is the presidential elections. And I'm going to tell you who I'm going to vote for, and I'm going to explain to you why. And the reason I am doing this is because I think it's very important. This is going to be at least 10 minutes long, and it's going to be about 4 parts. I could do it a solid 29 minutes or 30 minutes, but that's a long time. So I'm going to do these, I'm going to break them up into spots. And the person I'm going to vote for is Bernie Sanders in 2020. And if he sticks around that long. And the reason I say that is because out of all of the candidates, he is the only candidate to explain or at least be able to say exactly what it is he wants to do and how it'll get paid for. Here's how Bernie Sanders will pay for everything he has talked about. Some people have the misconception that Bernie Sanders wants to give away free stuff. Here's how Bernie Sanders plans to pay for his proposals. He is running for president in 2020. Since he has announced since he has announced his candidacy, one of the annoying critiques coming from the anti-Bernie paid opposition camp is, how is he going to pay for it? As if no one in the government has ever to write a plan to pay for anything. Whoever wrote this didn't know what they're doing, because I got to go in and fix things that they wrote. But I believe in what they wrote. Don't get me wrong, I believe in what they wrote, but how they wrote it is another story. Well, Sanders has laid his plan out many times over the last 4 years, and he has. Let's discuss in detail how taxing the ultra-rich, like we did to make this country grow in the first place, will help save this democracy. Now, I don't agree with the word democracy. I think that is a nasty, low-down, dirty word. Why? Because in a democracy, you have an ocean liner and you have a small ship on a big sea. The ocean liner represents the rich and the well-to-do. The little ship represents us, the people. In a democracy, the big ocean liner can destroy the little ship and get him out of the way. We were not set up to be a democracy. We were set up to be a republic. And in a republic, you have the large ocean liner, and you have the small ship on the ocean, and the large ship will not be able to destroy the little boat because the Constitution says you can't do that. With democracy, the large ocean liner can destroy the little boat if the large ocean liner says, we want the little boat out of the way. Well, in a republic, it says, no, you can't do that. As soon as the ocean liner decides to take out the little boat, the Constitution steps in and it stops the ocean liner. Rebuild America Act. Rebuild America Act legislation introduced by Senator Sanders to rebuild America's crumbling network of roads, bridges, and transit systems and other infrastructure projects. It is a 5-year plan that will cost $1 trillion. To pay for it, Bernie Sanders proposes taxing corporate offshore income, which is estimated to generate $100 billion per year. That's easy on paper, but I don't know exactly how well corporate is going to like it. Now, College for All Act. College for All Act legislation introduced by Senator Sanders and Representative Pramila Jayapal that would make a public college and university tuition free for working families and to significantly reduce student debt. The cost is estimated to be $75 billion per year. To pay for it, Senator Sanders proposes a Wall Street speculation tax, which is estimated to generate about $300 billion per year. PolitiFact seems to think it would not work, but does mention that the federal government would fund 2/3 of that cost using a tax on Wall Street trading, but participating states would have to kick in the remaining cost. Sanders doesn't seem to think so if he can get done what he wants to get done and get it done the way he wants to get it done. Now, you have the Social Security Expansion Act. Social Security Expansion Act legislation introduced by Sanders and Representative Pete DeFazio, which would expand Social Security benefits, strengthen the retirement program for generations to come. It is estimated to cost $1.2 trillion over 10 years. To pay for it, Sanders proposes to remove payroll tax caps for earnings above $250,000, which would estimate to generate the $1.2 trillion over 10 years. Well, Bernie, what you failed to realize is that in several major cities, $250,000 a year is not really that much because the cost of living is so high. When you have people in Seattle making $60,000 a year and they're considered low income, that $250,000 earning is not really that large of an amount. Employ Young America Act now. Employ Young Americans Now Act. In today's America, unemployment among young people is higher, especially among young people of color, more than any other demographic. Bernie Sanders believes that all young people should be given the opportunity to get a proper education, be employed, and earn a sustainable living. It is estimated to cost $5.5 billion over 2 years. To pay for this, Senator Sanders proposes closing the carried interest loophole, which is estimated to generate $15.6 billion over 10 years. Now, that's the first part of this. I'm going to break off here, and I will be back in my second part, which will be paid family medical vacation leave.